I'm Dr. Dan from Multivitamin Pro, and we're discussing metabolic syndrome. Now, we probably don't even have to talk about this because of all the publicity that this gets and the early warning signs that are shown everywhere, and celebrity endorsements of the Metabolic Syndrome Foundation, and marches for metabolic syndrome, and on, right? Well, you know, I'm being sarcastic because there's nothing like this, even though about 1 in 5 adult Americans, and now not more and more children are showing up with this too. This is affecting somebody you know, if not you. So you should know a little bit about it, just your own self-defense, and maybe you can help a loved one with this too. So metabolic syndrome is a collection of different findings. Let's start with upper body obesity and elevated triglycerides, elevated blood pressure, depressed HDL, the high density lipoproteins associated with cholesterol, increased insulin, increased blood sugar, fasting blood sugar. So those are all part of the syndrome, and some people have all of those. Some people maybe have all but 1 or 2. But if you're heading that direction, you know that it's time to take some steps. So exactly what is metabolic syndrome? So it has to do with inflammation, and inflammation is anything that's affecting the integrity of the cell membranes and the body's ability to regulate itself. So inflammation, of course, is the body's response to try to put some healing back into the picture. But the things that tend to cause inflammation are dietary and environmental chemicals. Now, in environment, we can talk about pesticides and herbicides, heavy metals, that sort of thing. So we always advise people choose organic whenever possible and non-GMO products, to try to eliminate the inflammation-causing foods in the diet. Now, if you're gluten sensitive or sensitive to other types of foods, by all means keep those out of your diet. And I harp on this a lot, but it's because we see so much of it. And of course, the medical diagnosis for gluten sensitivity is not very good these days. Hopefully it's getting better, but still not very good. So you may be on your own there, but you can always give us a call. But there are other foods too, dairy and a whole list that can cause problems for certain people. So be aware of that. Lack of exercise is important in this, and not everybody can exercise, but most people can. So, getting out walking a few minutes a day can make a huge difference. Now, one of the key offenders here are trans fats, and there's been some publicity lately about trans fats, and there's been a little bit of controversy about it, and I don't know why there'd be controversy, because there's, coffee may not be the best thing for you, but there are some benefits to it, and same with things like wine. But trans fats, we know of no physiological benefit to your body for eating trans fats. On the contrary, it tends to disrupt the cell membranes and set you up for more inflammation, which makes you more prone to things like heart disease. So why would you want that? So, avoiding trans fats, avoiding herbicides and pesticides, and that's why I say choose organic whenever possible. And like I always say, you might get to vote a few times a decade at the voting booth, but you get to vote every day with your dollar. So by all means, make your vote count. So as your body begins to lose its ability to properly handle blood sugar because of all these inflammatory processes, some of this, your body begins to convert some of this into triglycerides, and that's why you start to see the elevated triglycerides. That's why the blood sugar and those are linked. So by all means, be as smart as you can about your diet. Get some exercise. Even if it's walking for 15-20 minutes 5 times a week. And if you're doing all that and still having problems, then supplements can be really helpful. And we have a whole list of those that, depending on which part of that you're dealing with, but lowering triglycerides and blood pressure, we like Thorn Perfusia. We've been using that for years. Apex has some products that help with blood sugar, like glycine and protoglycin and Fibromin. And of course, making sure you get a good quality EPA and DHA, because it's not good enough just to avoid the trans fats, but you need to make sure you get the good fats in. And it's hard to get those in your diet, but some fish oil supplements can make a huge difference. So that's a basic overview of metabolic syndrome, and hopefully that was helpful for you, and maybe encourage you to get in on the internet, maybe do a little bit of research on your own and see how you can manage this. So thanks a lot for listening.